ML Sports Take here, of course, brought to you by Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company and Camillus Golf Club. You know what, Bonnet family? Maybe I'm the one who should apologize. I thought that this was not going to happen this year. I was excited going into this year. I said to everybody I was trying to curb my excitement, but I just couldn't. Why? Because a bunch of guys were coming back. The freshman class looked great. Mark Schmidt was able to keep guys from entering the transfer portal. I didn't think this was going to happen this year. I did not think that losing at home to Canisius was in the cards. I just didn't think so. And yet here we are again, losing to Canisius in a huge spot in the beginning of the year when you're trying to set the tone and you're trying to get things going. They had a great first half. I don't know what on God's earth happened in the second half to get outscored by 10, outplayed by really what should have been a million, and just a completely different basketball team. Bonaventure made 4 threes out of 20 at home. They shot 40% from the floor. They were awful at the free throw line. They out-rebounded Canisius by 5, but it felt like they didn't really get a lot of key rebounds and stretches. And yet they forced 19 Canisius turnovers, and they only had 11, but they lost by 3. I'm so frustrated. I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed in Daryl Banks III. I thought maybe this was a game where, the second half is going the way it's going, and you need a guy to take over a game. You need an upperclassman to do some things, and the guy did nothing. There were careless spots for Bonaventure. There were careless turnovers. There was reckless play in key situations. Again, I felt pretty good going into the half. And then I don't know what I saw in the second half. I mean, I literally was befuddled at watching this basketball team perform. And there was a stretch where, and everybody knows exactly where I'm talking here. So you go back to the start of the second half. I'm not even going to talk about the first half because the first half I thought was fine. I thought the energy was great. Sorry, I'm bad on a little tickle here as well. I thought everything first half-wise was fine. From effort to shot selection to rebounding and hustle, I thought it was all fine. The second half was a completely different story. They go back and forth a little bit, but Bonaventure's still up 9. They go back and forth a little bit, and, it's a 2-point game and then a 1-point takeover by Canisius. And it was at the point where Gadsden makes that 3-point shot, 42-41. And then Bonaventure, they're down 49-41 at that point as Canisius just keeps scoring, and Bona's going through this awful rut and some bad offensive possessions. Flowers misses the 3-pointer, which was a huge spot. But when you look at that 41 points and you go back all the way in that time frame, Canisius, my gosh, it was 41-32, and then they come all the way back 47-40. St. Bonnie's scoring, look at this, 43. 14-15 was when Noel Brown made that layup. So that gave him 2 points to get him to 43 points. You go all the way back to the score being 41-34. Gosh, if my math shows me correctly, 34-49, that's a 15-0 run. It was in that spot at 49-41. I'm going, what did I just watch? Is this team with all these guys back and what we think they can be in Pride and Adams Woods, and did that just happen on your home floor in a game where that can't happen against a rival like Canisius that always gives Bonaventure fits? I thought the game was won right there. I really did. And that was a 14-point game, a 12-point game, and Bona's going back and forth, and it's 14 again, then it's 12, and then there's some lead cutting into, and all of a sudden Bonaventure cuts it to 10, and then they cut it to 8. Pride makes the layup. Still not feeling good. It's a 12-point game, 10-point game, 9-point game, 11-point game. Banks makes 3 free throws. You're like, still need a lot of work. 3 minutes is an eternity in college basketball. Banks makes a jump shot. You're kind of feeling, maybe they're coming on. Well, they were only down 6. And then Pride makes a layup to cut it to 4. And all of a sudden, you're like, is there a possibility to freaking pull this thing out? And what this game reminded me of was the Bills and Jaguars in London, where the only difference was Bonaventure didn't start slow, But in the second half, they started slow. The second half was kind of like the Bills-Jaguars game in London. By the time they came all the way back, there was something here and there that just it didn't work. And, Charles Pride had an opportunity to make a three-point shot. Banks, the third, got the rebound. There was a foul on Banks. The foul, Esenvus gets the defensive rebound, and then Banks turns it over with under 10 to go. It was just, by the time the game got late, it was too little too late, is what I'm saying. And I just am so frustrated. I'm so sick and tired of losing to Canisius. I'm so sick and tired of this kind of stuff. It drives me nuts. I'm not saying the season's over. That's not what I'm doing. But when Bonaventure's on the bubble, in general, if this year they're on the bubble, they're not going to get in because of these losses. These are the ones you cannot have. I say it over and over again. I think Canisius is a decent team. I do. But come on, man. Like, Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock, the crowd's roaring. Bonaventure at home, RC, like, you got so much to play for. Last year, avenged the loss. Like, I am so sick of these losses. I'm so tired of it. And now you've got Oklahoma State. You have a tough Bucknell shooting team, coming in. You got to play Miami. You got a lot of tough mid-major clubs. You got to go at UB. You have at Niagara still. Sienna's going to give them hell. Florida Atlantic clearly is going to be a big favorite over Bonnie. I don't know, man. These games really, really piss me off. And you know what? Again, like I said, maybe I should apologize because I was so hyped up and so freaking crazy about this team. And of course they drew me back. Of course they did something like this in the beginning of the year to a freaking rival. And I am disappointed. I'm so disappointed in this loss. It's inexcusable to give up a 15-0 lead on your home floor, a 15-0 run on your home floor. I don't know where Banks was. The shooting was horrendous. Look, they got some looks that were open, some were contested, but you can't shoot 4 for 20 on your home floor from 3. You can't do that. A really good free throw shooting team like Bonnie, especially down the stretch, you're usually making free throws, but it was all game they missed a lot of free throws. So I wish I could throw this one in the garbage and just say, just move on, but I can't. Because if they end up having a great year and they end up being on the bubble, they're going to still have to win the A10 tournament because of losses like this. And I'm afraid that we've seen one, and we probably are going to see another one. That's simple. Wish I had better news. Wish I felt better. I wish something was better overall. But I got nothing on this one. I really don't. ML Sports Take here, brought to you by Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company, Camillus Golf Club, and my friends at Stanley Law Offices. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Hope everybody has a great weekend. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.